Okay, so section 11.2, it's a good review for 11.1 anyway, which is your quiz tomorrow. It's multiplying rational expressions. You basically do the same 4 steps. So let me scoot this up a little bit. And the 4 steps are to factor, note your excluded values, although we don't actually always do that here, but I'm going to go ahead and do it right here anyway. So factor, note the excluded values, cancel out stuff, and then write your answer. So I'm going to factor what I can. The x plus 5, nothing goes into either of those or both of those together, anything like that. So that's just x plus 5. Okay, whoops. I wrote n for nothing for some reason. 7x minus 21. 7 comes out of both of them. Okay, this is factoring out a greatest common factor. So some questions about this yesterday. So 7 goes into both of those. Put a 7 on the outside. Write what would be there. This is just the opposite of the distributive property. So 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, just a quick review there. That's something you should be familiar with. 14x, and then here in the bottom, this is a trinomial. It's a number that multiply to negative 10 and add the 3. It's going to be x plus 5 and x minus 2. Now, as you're factoring these, you'll have clues to help you along. For example, the x plus 5 is here, and there's an x plus 5 there as well. So given that there was an x plus 5 here, that's a little hint to say there's probably an x plus 5 hidden somewhere down here. It's going to be right in there. It doesn't always happen that way, but it happens often enough that you should recognize it. Your excluded values, opposite of negative 3 is 3, opposite of 5 is negative 5, opposite of negative 2 is 2. So those are your excluded values. And again, only find the excluded values if the problem explicitly says to do so from here on out. It said it before, but do that if it says so. So I'm just doing this as an example here. What's going to cancel? The x plus 5 will cancel. The 14 and the 7, those numbers will reduce to 2 and 1. 7 goes into both of those, so 2 there and 1 there. Let me clear this up a little bit. These are my excluded values. Okay, and then nothing else will cancel, so I just look at what's left after this aftermath here of math. So look across the numerator. The only thing I see left is a 2 and an x. And then look across the denominator. All I see is an x minus 3 and an x minus 2. Okay, so then x can't be 3, negative 5, or 2. And again, that's not really as important in this section, but it's important for your quiz tomorrow. So I'll go ahead and still make a big deal about it. But you only need to find the excluded values if the problem says to do so. Okay, so there is your explicit example. We're going to do another try it step by step here. So let's scooch this down. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do one step and then pause, and ask you to do another step and then pause. So the first step, as always, is to factor what you can. Go ahead and do that. Okay, what can I factor here? That's going to be 3x squared. If it's a monomial, if it's just one term, nothing could factor out of that. X plus 2, nothing goes into both of those. X squared plus 3x plus 2, this is a trinomial, so numbers that multiply to 2 and add to 3, that's going to be 2 and 1. And then the x is by itself. So the only part of that that factored was the numerator. Go ahead and state your excluded values. Okay, the excluded values are going to be negative 2 and 0. If x is by itself, it's like x plus 0. What's the opposite of 0? 0. Okay. Really what we're saying is what numbers would make the denominator 0. So what number plus 2 would be 0? Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. And what number would make x 0? Well, just 0 there. Okay? Second step is, the next step is to cancel stuff out. Go ahead and do that. Okay? So the stuff that cancels out, the x plus 2 cancels out. You have 2 x's here and 1 there, so that will cancel out to just x there. Okay, you have 2 x's here and 1 x there. The 1 cancels out, just leaving you with 1. And your last step is to write your answer. Okay, so let's see here. They'll have 3x and x plus 1. Nothing's left in the denominator, so don't write a denominator, and state your excluded values. Okay, one more, try it. And this, just sometimes you'll see it times a polynomial written like this, but if it's not written as a fraction, just put it over 1. So if you see it like that, put it over 1 and then do it just like we did before. Go ahead and try that out.